Meaning a lot going on. We're gonna talk about the former president. What's this guy name? See, I don't even
Sleepy
remember.
Jones?
I
Sleepy
don't even
Joe?
remember this
Sleepy
dude's
Joe.
name.
Sleepy
I'm
Joe.
glad
Sleepy
that he's
Joe.
gone. Former President Joe Biden was diagnosed with aggressive form of prostate cancer. Kevin Brown, what's going on?
We should all be furious. Every last one of us. Because
Why?
either he did not get his checkups, which is crazy. Well, first off, the biggest issue is this type of cancer, it doesn't just pop up. You had this cancer for a few years at the very least. And some like medical professionals are saying that you had to have had this for it to be at the stage that it's at right now. You had to have had this at the very least at the beginning of your campaign and presidency. So not only was he mentally deficient, but he also had a issue that could have took him out at any point in time. Because for prostate cancer to metastasize to your bones, that takes years. And there's plenty of tests that could have caught that throughout this process. So either somebody was not getting their exams or somebody was lying to us. And I'm tired of being lied to. We should
Wasn't
all
that a Kevin? Isn't that a mandate? Like with presidents, like that they get like a annual checkup or something
annual
like that.
checkup.
Yeah,
Annual
I'm being,
checkup.
I'm, I'm
Not
being
only
dead
that,
serious. Like,
not
yeah,
only that, Biden has had two aneurysms in his life. Biden previously, I think like in 2007 2017, one of those years, he had like a surgery on his prostate. And so like this he has a long
Mm.
laundry list of medical issues. So one, conservatives are right to ask if this man is capable of even finishing out his current presidency. And not only that, the Democratic Party said he is good enough to run again
that
with
was
this type
wild.
of cancer. So either someone lied to us or it was negligence. It was medical negligence.
So
They
Tamisha,
politicians. They
Tamisha,
politicians. They all are.
Right.
Hell
We
no.
should be,
Tamisha,
and
when
we should be for this, we should be furious about that.
I mean, he's gone,
when
Kev. Why do I
how,
need to be serious?
hold
Because
on,
it's
hold on,
just
hold on, hold
another
on, hold on.
notch that lets us know he and his administration were not running the country.
Mm.
No, absolutely not. He wasn't.
Exactly.
Mm-mm.
We should be furious. We are right again. We thought this and we are right again. And it's worse than we thought in the first place.
So when Kevin Brown stated that he was furious and we should be upset and he's upset, he's tired of being lied to, Tamisha rolled her eyes. So why did you roll your eyes when
All
he
politicians lie.
Right.
And I mean, and you know how I feel about it. All white men do. So
But ain't you mad? Like so you
no, I'm
voted
not
for
mad.
this.
First of all, I wasn't a Juicy Joe supporter. Let me explain that to you. Number
Juicy
one,
Joe.
I was not a Juicy Joe supporter because I know Joe's political history. Joe ain't been for the
Right.
black people all the time, y'all.
Right,
So
right, right.
let's really be for real. He wasn't my community. He wasn't my no. I wasn't a Juicy Joe supporter. So
Okay.
the fact
Even
that
if,
he was a liar about his health, I mean, I would expect nothing less.
no. It's not that he was a liar about his health. He wasn't. He didn't know black from blue.
Well,
But it was
I mean,
the
probably
people. It was
kept
the
falling.
party. It was the party that
Your prostate
you
messed up your
hold
equilibrium.
on. It was the party that you support that covered for him. And if they'll cover for that, what else have they and would they cover for?
I mean, both
I
parties
admit
do
that
the
all
same
politicians
thing, Kevin.
lie, that's for sure, but that's a big one.
But Kevin, both
That
parties
big one.
lie. Both
They
parties
said he could
cover.
run again.
Both parties
And the
cover.
only reason they said no, he can't run again is because the veil was lifted. We saw the wizard. We looked behind the curtain.
I mean, he's an old white man. I didn't think he needed to run again anyway. I don't think he would have made it through the
Y'all
campaign.
ain't got no rage on the left. That's crazy to me. Like,
I'm
Kevin,
not
yeah.
raging. I'm not raging after this.
Okay, sorry. Let me.
I mean, God, he ain't gonna be here for too much longer, Kevin. I don't have time to rage after this man.
I
Kev
feel bad for him.
Jones.
Though. You know, nobody deserves that.
Man, that's a bias. I mean, yeah, I understand why he has a nickname and all those things, Sleepy Joe and all that stuff like that. But I do kind of feel like what Kevin feels like, when you're running a country,
Yeah.
like you should be sane to do that. And there's not I mean, when he was in office, people who still calling him Sleepy Joe. I mean, to the point where like Trump was pointing this stuff out years ago. Like that, how insane that this man is, and let's call it for what it is. Like he wasn't capable of being the president.
But then why were people willing to put him back in office?
To
then?
let him run? I have no idea.
No, because it was because of Trump. They didn't
Because of
want
what?
Trump to win. They didn't want Trump to win.
Today.
So you're willing to allow somebody who can't say his ABCs to run your country?
Listen, fam.
Because you don't
y'all
want this
bought
guy
it
in.
the first time. Y'all bought it the first time. That's why they were willing to do it again. They said, y'all goofs. Y'all let him in the first time. Cool, we'll do it again. They thought y'all would have done it. Let's be real.
Jimmy?
Y'all done it.
Yo, I don't think nothing changed either way. Like, I mean, Trump sleep, he be talking like he was a boxer back in the day. Like, I mean, so we ain't talking about like
Trump is
We're not talking about apples and oranges. We're talking about green
Yeah.
apples and Honeycrisp apples. That's
my
what
man be
Jimmy is
sleep
saying.
all the time, yo. Like,
So,
So-
prostate cancer is a treatable form of cancer, and
Yeah.
it's something that you can live, with for a long time. None of us are physicians, doctors on this show, so if you're having any type of issues, what I'm about to say, make sure that you go get your screenings and your checks.
Go
Do
to
not
the
take
doctor.
what I'm about to say for face value. I ain't no doctor. But apparently, from ABC News, medical correspondent, her name is Tara Narula, whatever it is, she explained it completely. So she said that his Gleason score is a 9 right now. How they
That's
came,
wild.
it's a 9.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
How
man.
they came to that score. And once again, if you're experiencing any of these things, please go get checked up. We're not a health show at all. They did a biopsy of the prostate. That's step 1. Step 2, they place whatever they find under some type of microscope. That's step 2. Step 3, the 2 largest samples, 1 and 2, they say, okay, what's this number over here? And what's this number over here? I don't know what his numbers were, but example, if it's a 3 and a 4, that gives you the Gleason score of 7. So once again, his was a 9. So relatively, it was between that first tumor or whatever it was, a 5 and a 4 to equal the 9, and that's where they got the number from.
It's
I mean, but
insane.
what's a normal range or an average range?
A normal, yeah, I'm glad that you asked that because I skipped
what-
that. So a normal range is a 1.
It's a
Right,
1. I was about to
but
say
a
it's a 1,
more-
right?
A 1. So a more abnormal range would be if a number is at 5. That's when they're like, whoa, we got an issue here. But he's 4 over that. 9.
What year is this report from?
No. This is today.
Oh, this is okay.
This is his, yeah.
Bam.
These are current numbers.
I mean, it'd be much different if this was like any of the past 4 years. It'd be
Yeah.
much different because that points to extreme negligence. But okay, good to know. It's
I
recent.
might be wrong from what I'm about to say, so please forgive me. Who was running the country?
oh yeah, the bank.
I'm
They
being
always-
dead serious. In both
Every-
terms that he had,
that's
Everybody-
he was doing this.
Everybody
who-
Good question.
So Tamisha, like for real, like you're in these,
Everybody
in
who
the Senate.
benefited from his
This-
presidency, that's who was running the country.
So when they
Wait.
he's
All
like,
right,
hold
on. Said that he was
Let me
running.
throw something out there
The
real
bank
quick.
is definitely
Didn't
running.
somebody say that they wish they could have a third term where they just sat in their basement and had an earpiece in somebody's ear and told them what to do remotely? Man, what was that?
Listen,
man?
bro.
I think it was Obama.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't
I don't
know.
know who was running
Just
this
throwing it
country.
out there.
If
I mean, I think Obama was at
a
Martha's Vineyard living his best life. I don't think he was. I don't think he was
Yeah,
worried
in
about
his
us no
basement
more.
with the earpiece saying,
I don't think he was worried about us no more.
That's bad.
Yeah.
That black man looked too
Hey,
relaxed. to be
Clearly,
worried about
Biden
what's
wasn't
going on in
there,
this
so I mean,
Okay, I got another question. What do the president do? If that's what do they do?
Right.
That's just like who run the Knicks.
Yeah, well, as Kevin
Right?
has said before, how Trump is actually being the president is the first time we've ever really seen this.
there we go.
So what
Right.
do they do? Anything they want at this point.
Basically, until the Supreme Court or
Until
the
somebody
legislative
tells them,
branch
"Hold
checks
up."
him.
Yep.
Yeah, and so we've seen Trump move markets, in 120 days, and so there's no way we can't look back in hindsight's 2020 and say there's no freaking way that Biden was, one, even running the country, or two, at the very least, an efficient president, because we didn't see nothing happen from that based on what he himself did, and
Jimmy?
we're seeing a stark contrast right now.
I think the difference in that, right, is like you just said, he moves markets. Trump is a businessman, so markets is what he was in this for anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Biden wasn't a businessman. He don't have entrepreneur businesses throughout, right? Like
Yeah.
whatever.
And a
But this
politician lying to
person,
me.
because again, capitalism and big money runs the country, lobbies and
Yep.
everything. So he's playing it in a business form, a chess form of that. That's why we see markets moving, because it has direct connection into what it is that he's doing.
And Jim,
Outside of this presidency.
He had these.
Jim, you were not here for like previous conversations that we had in regards to politics. How do you feel about Trump, Jim?
Well, not to cut to the next thing, but the whole system is a fascist system, right? So the whole complete, any government, education, all of these programs are put in together as a distraction, controlling, and we given our power when we agree to anything in the government components, to be honest. So I don't even pay attention to one or the other, because it's the same thing. It's like it's a new costume, and now we're bickering about da da da. Meanwhile, none of that shit does anything but distract, destroy, and proceed to get richer. So
On the other end,
Can I-
we getting richer.
Can I ask a question? We got time too.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so Jimmy, I don't disagree. I think it is the Republicans, the Democrats. It's two sides of the same coin. You're almost always going to have those two choices, right? But let me ask you this: which party's policies do you think create the most opportunity for people to break out of a system like that? Is it
none. So I say that because we can create our own.
He didn't think about that at all.
I didn't.
He knew that.
Yeah. I'm here for it. Go for it.
Nah,
Right,
Jimmy
like,
broke
so
this down before.
it's
Remember?
not buying into any of it. It's literally focusing on creating outside of it. We can literally call our thing a church and now have our own crypto. That's literally our own government. They can't come on our property. So it's a bunch of things, but they would have us distracted and vote for this and argue this. And meanwhile, they're passing mass shit and we have no control over it. And we just like, oh, they did that. So it's really not even being in the house. It's like, leave the house, go to the woods, and now we start building shit. I mean, and everything, right?
Yeah.
So how do you combat, say you go down that route, and I think that's great. I think if you want to do that, do it, right? All power to you. But how do you combat the inevitable oppression from the U.S. government that's going to come with that? Because if you break out essentially and establish your own nation, now they have a right to, just like with any other nation, to, impede with American imperialism.
So so you have a few things, right? So one, we have more information, access to more information than we ever did before. So all of the things that the rich people knew because their grandfather told them, we now have the ability to put trust in what they call natural law trust and things of that nature. They didn't teach no one that, right? So there's ways in that regard, right? And then weapons are for sale. The same way we got missions and Maybachs and everything like that, weapons are for sale, right? Like, people get out of the military and get minimum wage of everything. Guess what? Their skill sets can now be used. I'm just saying, like, there is a solution to these things, right? But because we are distracted and we are complicit and compliant to the little bit of crumbs, then motherfuckers gonna stay on people are gonna stay on the plantation.
I'd be curious to know what that process looks like, honestly.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah,
I can definitely chop it up with that about that.
Cool.
I mean, anytime that Jimmy talks about that type of stuff, you want to like stand behind him and you want to believe in him and everything else. But for me, y'all know how I feel. I don't see it. I don't see a way out for it to happen, unless I want to see it too, Jim. And what that looks like.
So it's almost like, it's a thing, right? We call hunt the good stuff. So it's like, if you're not looking for these things, there's not going to pop up. Nothing's going to be like, yo, T, here go the answer, right? So when we actively start engaging and looking for it, that's when you're going to see the little loopholes and the cracks that no one ever told you about, right? Like, why is it that we don't have credit unions in our communities and creating our own markets? We can give ourselves our own loans for businesses, for houses, for everything. But one would say, I ain't never see that because one don't know about it.
Right.